without him. So how could we not acknowledge that, regardless of where he's gone now?
I want to speak on that, but I'm gonna let Bree go first.
I think Chicago celebrating 50 years is it's been a bit mid, but also I feel like the art of Chicago, like the Commons and Sabas, and even like Kanye, like I feel like it's nothing for Kanye to throw something. If he really wanted to, and we really want to celebrate hip hop as being Chicago and what we've done in hip hop, even like the drill era, Dirk and
Mm-hmm.
Keeper. I don't know if Keeper can come back to Chicago right now, but even like the drill era, like I feel like it's somewhat their responsibility too to bring a celebration here because this is where it started for not only all of us but them too. And Chicago played a huge role in making it. I think it's pretty mid, but I do appreciate the people like Hyde Park Summerfest that had their 50 years of hip hop celebration. Um, Wall Foundation, we doing a dinner, and we celebrating 50 years of hip hop in October. So I appreciate like that was like, okay, well if y'all not gonna bring it here, we gonna make something happen ourselves. But as far as like the actual artists that I feel like they need to get together and do some things like they did in New York, why we can't do it here?
I got a question for you. Do you feel like because there's a lack of that type of initiative, like what's the word I'm looking for, like the
Initiative.
actual idea to bring something like initiative to bring that here, do you feel like that's why we are not respected in other areas? Because it starts here, it starts with what we're doing here, what our artists are doing here to make sure that people see us.
Yeah, because when you look at like,
Um,
go ahead, Cuddy.
no, go ahead. I want you to speak on that because what
I
I
feel
gotta
like
say.
when you
About
look at like the Queen Latifahs and the LL Cool J's and even the Dipset, Jim Jones, Jewels, like they all still in New York. People that
Mm-hmm.
come from like Compton, Inglewood, they still in LA. Like any Chicago artists that be like, yeah, I'm gonna move to the suburbs, or yeah, I'm gonna just live downtown. Like they're not here. So at the same time, convenience could be a thing too, because a lot of these people just gotta come out their house, go down the street and perform, and get together and have meetings to plan this whole event, opposed to Common and Jennifer Hudson and Kanye having to come back and forth to try to plan something here because they're not here. And on top of not being here, you still have to have like some type of current modernized roots. You got to know who's who in Chicago right now. You got to know where do we do these events because it's probably not the same place that we did events 20, 30 years ago. But I
That's
hate to be,
fair.
but I do feel like it's because our artists don't stay here.
it. I agree. I think Bree hit it right on the head. I think also I don't think Chicago value hip hop as much as these other places. And I don't think Chicago artists value Chicago as much, being in Chicago as much as these other places. The average Chicagoan, even right before this call, everybody was talking about getting up out of here. So if I'm the average Chicagoan that's doing something, my goal is to get up out of here. What you think somebody that's making millions of dollars? What's their mindset? Because pretty much we all think alike in the city. Like that's one thing
That's
about Chicago.
terrible though, because when we go to other cities, we Chicago. Like I know when I go to New York, I'm still Chicago, but when I'm here, I'll be trying to go there.
We be so proud
Yeah,
to be Chicago.
Right? Like
that's just our flavor, you know. So that's I think that's really what it is. I think Chicago people don't value hip hop as much. We don't really care about hip hop and rap and the culture as much. And then you don't even really associate. If Kanye didn't scream Chicago so much and put it on his back in early his career, you wouldn't even associate Kanye with Chicago on a mainstream level.
I
Like you
also
don't.
feel like he uses Chicago when it benefits him. Like he'll say it like, "Don't ever think I'm not from Chicago." Like, but in other essences, it's like you don't see him really associate with us unless it benefits him in the realm of
I,
making him look a certain way.
I would say that's false to a sense because Kanye has built a tree of producers, of artists, of influencers, of creators that have tied roots into the city. You want him to do it, but if he's going to scale and become this globalized international brand, he can't have his foot on the ground. Like no one has done that. Like he built a tree and gave opportunity to Chicago people. Now, did those people do their job and make sure that I'm still connected to Ye, and these are the initiatives that I have going on, and I need him to be involved? I can't say that. I can't say they did or they didn't, but it's clear as day that's all what really needs to be done. So I think he's bigger than being on 49 for 47 and 79. He's a global international brand, so he's not gonna be in the city posted up. So we gotta understand that part of it. Like he's different, bro. He's not.
I
You know what
don't
I'm
think
saying?
he gotta be
Like
posted up
Kanye.
in the city, but he can still like make some things happen. I think Vic and Chance
Hmm.
did a great job.
That's what I was gonna say. Like we have artists that really that implement that. So like I don't know.
Vic and Chance is not at a level in their career where they can wouldn't be accepted nowhere else on that type of level.
This why people don't ask us to come and catch juices in they commercials.
No, this is we just talked about having a real transparent conversation. Like Vic and Chance love them guys to death. You know what I'm saying? I was just talking to Big Manager before this live. Um, love them to death, but they're still they're still working their wave of stardom. Like their wave of stardom, there's not nowhere near Kanye West. So of course they're still localized. They're not to the point in their career where it benefits them more being somewhere else than it does being in Chicago. You know what I mean? And I think I can see them trans going that way. But look what all the shit that Vic got going on. He has a weed brand that he's brewing here in Chicago. He's an actor on the shot. You know what I'm saying? Like all different things that takes place and opportunities that he got being here. So if I'm pretty sure if he got a gig or something that he has to be in LA for a while, he's gonna be in LA. I know for a
He
fact
was
that
in LA for a period of time, wasn't he?
yeah,
Or New York,
I
one
know
of the
for a fact he's actively gonna be in New York Fashion Week. So it's like it's certain things that like if his business can, you know what I'm saying, calls for him to be a certain type of place, I think he's gonna be there. I don't think Vic and Chance is right there in their career and their path where they life and they business calls to them to be elsewhere. So
I don't think you necessarily have to live here to have your imprint in the city. Like G Herbo don't live here, but his imprint is still in this city. They be making jokes like, do he live here? Because he's always here. So I don't necessarily think you have to live here to have that imprint.
Once again, G Herbo's
G
career is
Herbo
not
is
at a place where he
he's
he's
just
not at
very
that
entertaining.
place. Man, like we gotta and that's another reason why I think 50 years of hip hop is not look the same as it is. Like we don't look at it the same because we don't in Chicago. People don't really understand the business of the music business behind certain things. Like we see people with fame or clout, and we just think, oh yeah, you got clout equals money or clout equals this, and you supposed to be moving like how this person moving, and not knowing the business behind the moves that certain people are making. You know what I'm saying? Like business moves and the way G Herbo career is, like G Herbo is at a place in his career where he can still pop, he'll be going to the clubs in Chicago. He's not at that plateau where it's just like, yo, why are you in Chicago? You know what I'm
But
saying?
do we want to? So, but my question is like, do we even want our artists to feel that way? Whether they're a global superstar or not, they should feel like they can pop in the crib and do this, and this and get that love and still leave that imprint on the city. Wouldn't that be like the idea and the goal?
Mhm.
Yes, that'll be the idea and the goal. And that's a whole nother conversation because we just don't have the economic system for that. Like the ecosystem for the music business is not here in Chicago. Now is growing. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing we talked about in the 50 in that thing at the Hennessy thing that is growing. Like the business is growing, media is growing. You know what I'm saying? Music business executives like that has connections within the whole mainstream circle. Like we got production companies, we have independent labels that knowing how to move more. You know what I mean? To have a more of a structure. You know, so we're going towards that way, but we're not there yet. So if I'm an artist, if I gotta go get it, do I want to sit here and wait to build a crib, or do I want to capitalize off my moment and go to LA and get my shows, get my connections, do what I got to do to get my money? So those are just things you just got to think about when you talk about the business. So when we stop looking at it as a fan and start looking at it as a business and understand what's going on, you'll understand why certain people move like this, certain people move like this. Chance, business wise, Chance the Rapper being in LA makes no sense. But if he has a private jet, you notice that Chance be fucking everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Business wise, it makes sense for him to be here in Chicago, set up different things. He's eating, he's good. But if I want to go somewhere and kick it, I can go to New York, I can go to Jamaica, I can go to Africa and have a good time out there for weeks at a time.
I think it's the way he set up his brand too. Like if you look at his brand and who he is, we would consider him like what, like a hometown hero. Like it's somebody that we like. So his brand is pretty much surrounded around leaving his imprint here.
But Acid Rap was recorded in LA.
It's still like
that's what I'm saying. Like his brand and the business wise with somebody in his camp just told like you will realize that you're trying to chase it this way, but it's a void here, and you feel the void there. You're going to capitalize. That's business. I'm almost 60-70% sure if Chance could be Chance who he want to be in fucking LA in the hills and making money and living that life, he will be there. You know what I'm saying? Like if I can do that shit somewhere else, I think that's anybody. Like home is always gonna be home, but if I can do the same shit somewhere else, let me go do somewhere else and try something new. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's just my spiel. My spiel is just I think people just got to realize the business of the music business, the business behind the music, and then you'll start seeing why certain people move. Like Common, like what benefits to Common's career does it mean him being in the city of Chicago?
Okay, so then my question is, how do we make it so that not necessarily us per se, but maybe because we, we're in media, but how do we make it so that they feel like it is beneficial for them to stay here? Or what does that conversation look like then?
It's not even really a conversation. It's a movement.
I don't think it's us. I think it's just based on where their career lies and where they go. I don't think so.
Yeah. Like people's trying to feed their family at a point in time. People want to first of all want to feel safe. They want to make sure they can get some money. Like if they career, prime example, dude Tommy from fucking Power, right? The whole show is based in Chicago. The whole cast is based in Chicago, so that whole cast we see them a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because it makes sense for their business and their lifestyle to be in Chicago. Because I'm shooting in Chicago, I'm here all the fucking time. So I probably got a crib somewhere downtown. I'm here. I want to see what's going on in the nightlife. I want to see what's going on with the influence in the culture because I'm here. This is my life. You know what I mean? It makes sense for me to be here. It don't make sense for no. I'm pretty sure if Common was in the shot, he'd be here way more often. Look at Lorenz Tate. Lorenz Tate is from Chicago. We ain't seen him in years.
Lorenz Tate be here.
Now?
Yeah, I was gonna say now.
Yeah, now.
Oh, cause he on that. No, but the show he on is based out of New York.
But he got a lot of stuff he got going and brewing in Chicago now. His business is bringing him back to Chicago. But have you ever seen or heard about Lorenz Tate as long as your whole career of knowing Lorenz Tate coming up? And he's from the West Side, I believe.
He was in Barbershop too, wasn't he? Barbershop was based here.
His brother was in Barbershop.
Oh, I don't know why I thought he was.
I mean,
he wasn't in Brown Sugar, was he?
Well, that's not Brown Sugar. What movie was that he was in?
No, he wasn't in Brown Sugar. That's like one of my favorite movies. He was not in Brown
Black
Sugar.
Movie. Oh no, that's Tay Diggs. It was a black.
Let's just stop while we ahead. Let's just stop. We embarrassing
on some Brown Sugar. On the Brown Sugar Tate.
I get it.
Yes, we're gonna stop.
Moving on with hip hop. Lil Durk sold out back-to-back nights at the United Center. But the second night, which was WGCI Summer Jam, a lot of people gave was DMing us and hit me about this, like, yo, with the headlines, why y'all ain't say WGCI Summer Jam concert? Why y'all say Lil Durk concert? But the WGCI Summer Jam headline about Lil Durk
Was Dirk
got a
not
little
there?
wild on that Saturday night. It was
I'm not
fire.
gonna lie, I just thought it was the Lil Durk concert. Like everybody, not it's not just us. Other media platforms was saying Lil Durk too. So
Yeah, everybody was just saying Dirk concert, and I feel like throwing in GCI is just people want to shine a negative light because something happened that night. Like I don't like that.
But you feel like we shine a legend light on Lil Durk because the night before was amazing, no problems. It was a great show. It was very successful.
I
He
don't
brought
think
out
so.
hella Chicago
He
people. He
had a
brought
good
out
night.
Hello. He brought out Cowboy. It was a great day. And then Saturday night, it was just
So I remember seeing something before the concert started. Somebody said that it was announced that there was going to be an active shooter at the United Center. This was while we was at the barbecue. I saw it
really.
on. I don't know who platform it was. I don't want to laugh at them. I remember someone before it had to been around 6 o'clock. Somebody said it's supposed to be an active shooter at the United Center, and it was online.
So they knew about this and proceeded to do the concert.
I think they probably knew about it, but you know, some people got different what you call it, protocols and regulations about it. So I think that was why they did have armed police officers there, because I feel like the armed police officers got there kind of fast. I think they were already kind of like on deck waiting, because they had like the big guns walking through the hallway.
Yeah, I saw them.
So I think that was just part of the protocol. Because imagine how much money you losing.
Yeah, to like completely cancel it for no reason. Well,
yeah,
if that
But
was
I just think if y'all got that, if y'all known that was somebody was gonna do that, I think y'all it would have been more. Somebody would have like canceled it or sent a notice out to United Center. I don't think they would have had that show.
or just like this, because like I'm just thinking you got to go through metal detectors to get in the building. So I'm trying to figure out like maybe I would assume maybe say okay, like just the security is way more strict than normal. I don't see how. I don't know.
I'm not gonna
how you getting through them doors.
I don't know who got the side door at the United Center, but even back in March when we went to the concert, baby, had bottles, they had illegal stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
Big bags, they had guns. Like they don't know how they got all this stuff in there.
That's crazy.
Maybe it's a side door, some 90 Center, but yeah, because every time I go to 90 Center, I get big search. Even if I'm going through the back, I get searched.
Do you think that this incident, given this incident, and then the incident at the something happened at the Future concert, right? I think happened at the Rod Wave concert as well, all at the United Center. Do you think this is going to change the way the United Center books specifically hip hop artists?
That's what I don't like. I think it is, but at the same time, I feel like because I feel like we do have a good report. We have more of a good report than a bad report when it comes to African American hip hop artists coming to United Center. So maybe they just have to tighten up. I feel like the United States got to tighten up on what they do, because
but it wasn't even in United Center. When you talk to individuals that was there, like people sending me the videos and that was at the show, it was a malfunctioning with like the audio equipment, and people got antsy because it was already a fight in the crowd. That was
yeah, I saw that there was a fight there.
It was a fight in the crowd, and that's inevitable. Like we watch basketball games, we watch football games, hockey games. People of all different colors be fighting in the audience. We can't blame that on hip hop. People be they be with the fist. It was like a audio malfunction or something, and people just got, just got anxious, and I guess heard something said like it was just got anxious, and they just started tweaking. And then black folks, what I'm saying, for us, and not even just black folks, but us in the culture, hip hop culture, we see somebody running, everybody we ain't finna sit there and ask you why you running. We running. You know what I mean? So when chaos happened, everybody started running, moving, and shaking. You know, everybody don't nobody know what's going on, and it's just chaos happened from there. So you can't control chaos. Once chaos is in motion, you just gotta let it die down. So
But nobody was
I
injured,
did
right?
right. Not besides the
Yeah.
young lady that got stabbed, but she said some white
Oh
people
yeah.
stabbed her
What
allegedly.
the hell?
You see
Yeah,
that
she
she
said
has
people in the face.
stabbed her.
Black
And
people
she
out
had
here
a
stabbing
video.
people now.
Yeah, she had a video of them like chilling by like the little concession stand. And I was confused because I'm like, if they
Why
know
they
that you
stab her?
I don't know, but when she pointed them out, she should have went to go get a chair. If she
Definitely should have got a chair.
if she would have
y'all
got
got
the
to
chair,
video.
black people would
That
have
was that.
they
Y'all
would
got
That
have
to
would have been the
assembled.
bat
You know, when they
call.
saw
That's the
that
bat
chair,
signal.
that everybody would have knew what it was. She should have threw her hat and grabbed the chair. Everybody or threw her wig like Brie be doing, be like,
I've never thrown my
We're
wig.
not doing that, okay? Throw that cap on.
you want me to stop? You want me to start talking about your wig for real?
I want you to stop doing that to her.
Heart to heart, transparent moment, right? So we're friends, all well as co-workers. Me talking about your wig be offending you?
I just think it'd be like a form of projection because you don't have hair and you're praying that. So
That's enough.
like, I don't get bothered by it. It's just not funny. Like you think you
It's
be
not
really
funny.
cracking up at yourself, it don't be funny.
So basically, y'all look corny talking.
Like no.
Talking
Yes,
about
you do.
fronts
Yeah,
when
you
you got the
do.
little makeup right there, and you got
If
the
you come with
edges.
some better jokes, I get it. But
Okay,
you don't be
easy.
funny. But you can project that insecurity on me. I'm prepared to handle that.
I got you. All right. So back to the United Center. Chaos, anarchy, people stealing merch. Jay, you proposed the question. Do you think that's gonna change the way they look at hip hop shows and how they book hip hop shows? I say yes. I say people that's not from our culture that's in position of power will find any way to not have us in those
Mm-hmm.
venues. We know how Chicago is. We know how Chicago operate. And I said yes. Bree did make a good point that we do have a track record of nothing like this happening, and we'd had plenty of shows at the United Center on some hip hop rap shit.
On
But
top of
yeah, I
nobody
can
got
see them.
But here's my thing. Let's take, what you just said out of the equation for a second, because we know that hip hop is the number one genre in music. It doesn't matter yes it is. Yes it is.
Still,
We've been taking some L's lately,
but really, like, let's not just look at the, concerts here. Let's go outside of that. Let's go to the festivals. That Rolling Loud is a big one. Do you know who their biggest consumer is? Like, so my thing is this. Business wise, is it smart for them to even change the way that they like? My thing is like, how they say like no risk, no reward type situation. If I was them, that's how I would look at it, because it's like y'all are gonna lose a lot of money limiting who you book there, especially because the United Center is a stadium, right? So you're bringing the stadium type artists who are going to sell those places out. Why would you do that to yourself?
I think they're not gonna limit to who they book. I think they're gonna limit to think about it. Chicago artists it's like a hip hop police thing. Like Chicago artists, local Chicago artists of that ilk has recently just been able to perform it in the city. Like for the longest time, anytime you will book a Herb or a Dirt, they will shut your show down. Like I done seen shows that had Herb on a bill at the Chicago Theater. And they like, nah, he can't perform or we shutting the show down. It been
they
shows
shut the show down. I was supposed to have that promontory because of King Louis.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's so I can see local artists after years of finally being able to, like how they was telling Dirt, like welcome home, like finally being able to like do this, like 2 nights in his own city, like his career busting, he won the top of the game, is like finally being able to do this and not being able to do it ever again. So I can see that happen to local artists. Main acts coming from out of town, they gonna take the bread and they gonna keep it running because these people don't have no beef. They ain't gonna cause no commotion in they mind. We just here to get a
And
ticket.
9 times
But
out of 10, they
Mm.
are not.
So mainly it's probably going to affect the Chicago that come in here.
most
That's
definitely.
crazy. And that just kind of like defeats the whole idea of what we were talking about earlier about building here. That like takes away from it as well because it's like, and I'm wondering if that has also in the long run played a part of why Chicago hip hop is the way it is right now. Like it just played a part in it as well.
Because we don't value hip hop in Chicago. Like we don't look at it like that. In that we didn't grow up on Chicago hip hop. Like we grew up Chicago idolized gangbanging.
Yeah.
And it's not just black gangbanging. I think about
Yeah.
Al Capone, all of them. Like we is a gangster mob city. We don't hip hop is like, oh y'all rap. Like we had real drug dealers, kingpins getting money, like Larry Hoover. Like we had really people that was getting money living rap lifestyle. We don't care about rappers. Rappers to them is fugazi. They don't make no money. And you got to think about it too, like history lesson. I ain't gonna say no names, but you know, it was a period of time when rappers came to Chicago, they got robbed.
Okay, on the regular.
So it was on the regular, like you had to check in. It was Chicago. Do your research on that group of young gentlemen. I ain't gonna say their name because I already spoke, but it was another group of a young gentleman that was going around, and this not the other people that was robbing. This is like the class after them that was going around robbing our local NBA players, NFL players. Like imagine you playing for the Bulls or being from Chicago, and you chilling in your city, and people from your city is robbing you. Instead of showing you love, instead of building that culture, building that environment, where outside you
Can't
getting
have
robbed.
nothing.
You know what I'm saying? So imagine and today Justin
Chicago's
Fields,
terrible.
like people like Justin Fields don't know how good they got it. You know what I mean? Like he can be posted up in the club, and Chicago now is going to protect him.
Tim
But it was
Anderson.
one point. Yeah, it was one point of time. Like, yeah, like Tim Anderson, you going to O Block, they probably finna rob you. Now he could probably post up on there with his chains on, like it. And I think that didn't start the Chief Keef Derrick Rose era. I want to say that's correlated with each other. Like that whole O Block Dirk and them, like they weren't really trying to rob out of towners for real. Like out of towners was getting cool with them, and now it's like, yo, I'm checking in with them. So now I can go to O Block. I want to go on Essence because y'all made these spots popular. Before that, we didn't have no spots like that. We didn't have no Marcy projects. We didn't have no Magnolia. We didn't
Yeah.
have no Compton. So yeah, that has a lot to do with the culture. Because
Mm.
Eddie Curry. How many times you heard about him getting robbed? You know what I'm saying? Bobby Simmons. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Bobby. He was in the whole case. But it's like it was like we were doing our rappers bogus until Derrick Rose and them came in. Basketball players, you want safe. Only nigga you know that was safe was the Bulls because they was winning. And Mike, that's Mike now. So Chicago
I was
different.
gonna say like what era you talking about?
In the '90s, everybody got stories of Michael Jordan and Scottie and them kicking in the '90s, but
Yeah.
they winning
I mean,
championships. It's like we not touching them. They're the Bulls. They're Jordan. But after that, who you know that you can be like, oh yeah, he was a Chicago Bull. He was kicking it. We like, come on, man. Antoine Walker. Like, how many times you heard stories about them doing him bogus?
but you and be like, gee, you a goofy. I know you. I could.
Half our entertainers and hoopers are goofies, but don't mean you supposed to get robbed.
Not say you're supposed to, but give off that persona. I feel like that's just the Chicago way. Or stop
Mhm.
hanging around certain people.
Bro, I should be able to go to give me
Because a
something to
lot of
eat.
them was getting robbed because they thought they was cooler than what they was.
What do you mean? I'm on millions up. I'm giving out to charities. I'm doing all this. I'm playing professional sports.
But you still hanging around them niggas that you don't need to be hanging around.
But you supposed to be able to take care of your own. Like, and that's the difference between I want to say our city and like people from other cities, bro. Like you hear about that in New York. It's like, ah, you was the hooper, you still hoop. You know what I'm saying? And we take care of you, like you good. You ain't gotta worry about nothing. You good, you hoop. You get tickets to the game. We gonna come support you in college. Like it's different in New York. Like they dude from Harlem, he was just in the Final Four. Everybody from Harlem was at all the games. A little point guard dude, Cameron, all of them. They was support. He's only in college. He ain't even made the pro yet. But that's how the culture is different.
Yeah.
Like we didn't see that shift until, like I say, Derrick Rose came. When Derrick Rose came, like the whole Chicago was like Derrick Rose. You know what I'm saying? But it be like that. LA, it's the same thing. So, like, and you just how you just said, like, oh, you a goofy. Like, why do we think like that? What benefits us?
Why do we think like that?
But y'all want Kanye to come back.
I don't know. Huh? He a goofy too.
But I'm just saying that. But you wanted him to come back during the era where all this goofy shit was going on. That's to me is goofy. Robbing somebody because you feel like you stealing from a bank. Cool. I don't. That's robbing a bank. People do stuff like that. Bank robbery is cool. Robin Hood, steal from the rich, get back to the poor. But you're taking from a man or a woman that work. They, you know what I'm saying, all day to get this money, to work their hard, to follow their dream, and you want to go take from them. That's goofy to me, bro.
But I also
if you ain't robbing a drug dealer,
put yourself in a position where somebody can take from you too.
That's just, to me, this is foul thinking.
It's not.
That's why I like Omar from the Wire.
Because you can't trust everybody that you hang around, no matter how cool you think they are.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that was getting robbed was hanging niggas that they knew they shouldn't have been around.
Okay, I'll give you that.
That's my little point.
But what about the mindset of the robbers trying to rob everybody though? Like their whole mindset was like, I'm robbing.
Unfortunately, I feel like they just felt like that was their only way.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, that's a economic issue. That's a systemic racism issue.
That's a cop out. That's a cop out because it's so many drug dealers and so many people who's getting money around that time. You can go rob them. Go rob the criminal, bro. Don't go rob the NBA super.
But you got to remember that they're gonna go rob whoever the criminal and then have to live with in the same city as that person versus somebody that ain't living here.
All right, so prime example, right? You rob me. You steal some. So you rob a civilian, right? You rob a civilian. Get the chains, watch, throw me in the trunk, whatever, right? Chances are,
not throw me in the trunk.
all this is gonna happen. You're gonna kidnap me. You're gonna try all this.
Kidnap you and rob you. Okay, I'm listening.
Yeah, that's a robbery. We're talking about a real robbery, right? We're talking about a real robbery. Real robbery is put you in the trunk, throw you in the back of the trunk. I need everything, got you. You know what I'm saying? Chances are, right, once you do that, and you get a reputation for that, and you're talking about people with real money that you're doing this with, these civilians are going to tell the police. These civilians are backed by a league that makes billions of dollars. NFL, NBA, these civilians got money, record labels, people that's like, yo, you're an investment, so I have to protect my investment. So you're in harm's way. We're going to figure out who's doing this for you. People with that had undercover CIA agent, FBI agent, and police officer following around all they players so they can know what was going on with every player. This is recently just came out. Like they was saying, like how Melo was saying, like how the commissioner called him into his office and Allen Iverson called him into their office and told him, like, look, I know you hang with such and such, such and such. Quit hanging with them. I know what they doing. I know what they doing. So you think these billion dollar conglomerates is not gonna be tell the police? And this is why some of these groups that was doing these robberies got charged with RICO cases. This is all Google. This is not nobody snitching. This is not none of that. This is all Google. This was all on the news, WGN, Chicago Tribune, front page. Think about that shit. Shit's stupid. Now, if you go rob folks now that's gangbanging, selling crack and selling drugs, who they gonna tell?
They don't tell nobody. They gonna kill you.
Okay,
but that's y'all in the same thing.
In your life. Like, get your life ended.
Right. But you just ended your life, but you ended your life by going to prison.
But
you'll get out of prison.
A lot of them not right. A lot of them not smart enough to be like,
yeah,
they got undercover CIA people, informants, and people watching us. Don't know it's me. A lot of them don't think like that.
They're not thinking about that.
Right. So you
Or
think
you're not
cool.
or can we play the long game? And this is one thing about Chicago, people don't. We don't play the long game. Can we play the long game?
They don't
and
think like that when they're robbing these people. You know this.
Mhm.
It's not even about the robbing. It's about how you treat people, right? So, prime example in the Kanye West Genius documentary, right? How you see everybody was on his jock, and then dude turned around with to go diss them on the radio. Play the long game, like.
I miss.
You making all this money. You're this, you're that. If you want to move around, you probably gonna need some street dudes around you, so can't nobody fuck with you. So instead of taking this $40,000 chain off you this one time, I'm gonna get and pawn. I could just be in the mix and I can get paid for being muscle. And now you putting me in rooms with people I'll never meet before, and I can get put in other business.
That's the smart way to do it, but ain't
That's
nobody thinking like that though. Not everybody.
That's why they robbing them. If they thought like that, they wouldn't rob them.
No.
Or wouldn't even
I know that they're not thinking like that. I don't know they're not thinking like that, but I'm just putting that perspective. We got to
and then you got to remember too. People are addicted to clout, so the clout that comes with I robbed such and such, or I did. You know what I'm saying? Like
they don't even care. Like they'll take your chain, put it on the internet. What you gonna do?
We seen it.
But nah, that's just a mindset of thing that I think I would love when we start talking about Chicago hip hop. It's like certain things like that we got to think about the history of where our city come from, and then just like we growing to see where we at. Like we don't value this as much as other people value, and we should know that with Lyrical Lemonade. Lyrical Lemonade, he came in and he seen the value, and I wouldn't say he's profited off of it, but he built his empire off of it because he's seen the value of it. And I don't think a lot of people that's in our culture in Chicago, we really see the value of what we got. And
Academics did the same thing, built his whole career off of.
Yeah.
Like
we don't understand the business of it. You know what I mean? And that brings us to the next topic. I don't know if y'all seen the issue with seeing 16 Shotums and DJU. So it was a background. 16 Shotums. He went on he not 16 Shotums. DJU went on Adam 22 No Jumper podcast, and Adam being messy got in this.
I don't like him.
Yeah, I don't fuck with Adam either. But he being messy, he was like, "Yo, you doing your thing?" Like he asked him a question, and then DJU basically was like, "Yeah, ain't nobody. I'm the first person in Chicago with a place where artists can come pull up, like they can come pull up and chill. You know what I mean? And do like interviews and shit. We never had that before." And then I think Adam responded with saying like, "Yo, what about 16 Shotums? No 16 Shotums." He was like, "Yeah, he do, but not kind of how like I got it." 16 took that clip and put it on the Instagram. It was like, yo, he capping, basically using my name for cloud capping and stuff like that. So it was a whole thing on that. I'm bringing this up not to be messy, but the conversations. I mean, 16 talk often in the.
So we gonna talk.
It's
very challenging.
It's not messy, and that's what I was trying to explain to 16. It's not messy because we talk about growth, and I'm getting to my point. We're talking about growth, and we're talking about Chicago hip hop and our culture. Pod beef is like that's supposed to be something that you should be able to do, and still shake a man's hand and be like, "All right, cool, that shit. I see you did that shit." They do it all the time in the media capital of the world, New York. It's like we could take a little shot. It's jokey. It's hey, and we say we giving our opinion, whatever. and we keep it moving because we know this ecosystem that we have built. I'm mentioning you, you mentioning me, people going over here, people going over here, the fans in tune with it, they buying it, boom, we good. Like I ain't got no beef with you, you ain't got no beef with me. But we just talking, it's a little spicy, a little hate. We need that in the city, but we just can't separate the fact that this is business from the streets. And I think that's what I want to like as two young ladies that's in this media game. Like I want to get y'all perspective because I know how I view it as a man, but how do y'all view it as women?
I just look at it as messy. Like I look at it as like pod beef. I don't think it's gonna go nowhere. Like I don't think it's gonna pull up on your block and try to 16 come outside. I'm in LA, right?
16 back.
I know
we got a whole.
It was something that I watched where he was saying, Adam was asking DJ, you like 16 kind of paved the way because 16 was doing all his interviews and content here, and then he left and went to LA. So that kind of gave like that missing spot of, who gonna do all the interviews from the hood? Who gonna do, all the interviews that everybody else not doing? Especially because we don't have Zach TV no more. So I feel like, may he rest in heaven. But I also feel like it was a lot of people that tried to jump on that wave because when Zach was doing it, he was so good at what he was doing. Like when other people tried to do it while he was here, it wasn't giving off the same aesthetic.
And to this day, I don't think no one is really doing it like how Zach TV was doing. I think Zach TV was really unique on how he did it.
Yeah, I feel like
that's not.
He wasn't clout based at all. I feel like it wasn't clout based.
Yeah.
I feel like it was genuine. Like I want to because it's a part of Chicago that people not paying attention to. I don't think it was clout based at all. Some of the DJU interviews that I look at, they be looking a little, they be asking a little messy questions. I get it, but I feel like that's all a part of like podcasting and having YouTube shows. I don't think it should be that deep. I did like when he was like, DJU was like, I'm 50 Cent, 16 shot him as Ja Rule. I thought that was pretty funny.
You feel like he said that?
Yeah.
I just I just feel like
so they got real beef.
That's what it's given. They got real.
It's like it's some behind us. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it alone then, because now I can see why 16 will post that clip like that, because there got to be some behind the scene. And this is why I probably would love.
You can also see that DJU is he said like, I'm just a competitive person. He told Adam, he said, I'm trying to compete with you next. Like he's just trying to get to the top. You can't be mad at him. I feel like you can.
What? I just feel like this. As much as we all know this growing up, whether we was in school, wherever, going on the block, as far as like we talk about each other, make jokes, crack jokes, whatever. Why is it that when like why are you so sensitive is my question. Like we are used to talking about each other, making jokes, whatever the case is. Why does it gotta be all of this?
Because now you're doing it on the internet. Okay.
So what? Like
everybody ain't built for it mentally. You're doing it on the internet. Now you allow.
You shouldn't be in this field then. If you're not built for that mentally, you should not be doing this. Like, and that's just how I feel. You're putting yourself out there for people to make comments and do however they want to do it. So it's like at some point you have to understand that this is all a part of what comes with this. And if you
Yes, Jay, you're right. It comes with it. You're right. You right too. I'm thinking in this situation, and a lot of your comments wasn't really pertaining towards them. It was just in general, because this is not just a them thing. In this situation, though, I could see that 16 having a little issue with the whole no jumper umbrella, because he went on there and fought dude, could spit on dude, and they, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
So I could see him already having a little issue with no jumper anyway, and then the fact that you went on Nate.
Adam, because now Adam playing in your face.
Yeah, so I can see.
Yeah, but okay, so then why not direct that towards Adam then? Like, yo, you messy for doing that. Calling him out.
That's a question for 16. That's a good question for him.
Like, why you playing in my face? That's where the real beef is.
But then again, you never know. He might have him and DJU might have had a little spice. You know, people always say he's still in your style. Because 16 was first. DJU started doing his interviews. It might be a little competition there. To me, I think it's good. I think the competition between if it's a friendly competition, is more media. Is I like that from the crib. So I fuck with both. You know, I rock with both. I support
when Chicago people be beefing, we a little bit more aggressive than other people. So they could just they could be cool, but what they saying they understand where it's coming from.
Well, people are taking it that way because I get told all the time I talk aggressive, but I feel like this is just how I talk. But people who are not from here, they don't understand that.
You can't call me Ja Rule, B, and so you keep
I holler when he said that.
I'm with 16. Like, for one, I'm from the crib. Then you already know we look at Ja Rule like a goofy. So basically, you try to say I'm a goofy, and you finna end my career. A better comparison would have said like, yo, I'm like it's like a Nas and Jay-Z type thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, a Biggie or Pop, a Biggie or Pop type. It wouldn't have been
this entertaining.
Nah, bro, don't compare me to no Ja Rule. Now I'm at your cap. Nah, I'm sick. Hey, don't compare me to no Ja Rule. I don't care if we beefing or what it is. Ja Rule got hits.
You on here today?
Oh, we can get him on here next week and talk about
Let's get him on here next week. We can talk about it. Let's dissect and figure out this real beef or this like pod beef. Because pod beef is good, especially for Chicago.
I like pod.
Absolutely.
Beef. I like pod beef. If it's real beef, I do not condone beef. I don't condone real beef. If they're gonna really be beefing, there's gonna really be something in the streets, man. Y'all knock it out, bro.
And a lot of podcasters don't really be about their life anyway. So it's like we can only beef on.
We really don't.
Hey man, 16 got 16 he ain't scared to throw them hands.
I mean, we saw that.
Folks ain't scared to throw no hands. So
Chicago funny as hell.
But salute both of them gentlemen, man. I wish them nothing but the best, and they both of their careers. They both got amazing platforms. They both doing a lot of dope shit. I just think that was just an interesting topic to kind of spoke on because it all correlates with like the hip hop, what we doing in Chicago, and we just spoke on it earlier. Like shit like that is why we're not quite there yet. You know what I'm saying?
But they're not the only two that do.
They're the leading two in that space from here. They're leading two from that space from here. What I find is crazy is that they interview a lot of these people first, and then Adam and them just take it.
Typical culture vulture action.
That's usually how the content go.
So I would challenge both of those young men to figure out how to take that and like how you say I'm competing with you, Adam, to take that ratchetness, hoodness, however y'all want to do it, kind of polish it up and create a bigger brand than what they got.
But do you think that they will still have the same, like, do you think like people that are in that space that do come and interview with them, do you think that they'll still be as comfortable as they are to interview with them if they were more polished?
I think they would be. I don't think they gotta be more polished. I think they can just be more how they present
the brand.
Yeah,
I feel like they would.
I would love for them to do that.
A lot of people get in that space and then they start switching up and they don't want to interview the same people they used to interview.
Well, see, that's a different conversation though. If they were to remain in the same space, I think if there's respect there, I think they won't have an issue, having people come on.
I think it's
even if it's polished.
It's just a bigger play if they polish the way they present their it'll be a bigger play for them, and it's a bigger way for them to grow. And then I would love to see that because I do feel like they can compete with a no jumper. in a Say Cheese. I do feel like they have the platform, they have the following, and they have the posts on the culture to do what they're doing, but better. And they black, so I really feel.
I was gonna say, how are so then if we notice that there's like sort of that with Adam taken from these smaller platforms, I just am trying to figure out what's that missing link then. Is it the branding aspect of it? Like, what is that missing link to take them to that level? Because in a sense, essentially they're letting somebody capitalize off of the work that they're doing by actually going out there and actually hitting the ground, doing the actual groundwork.
I think it's the access.
It could be the access. And it's probably the same thing as access, but it's the same thing when an artist present a record label deal and you telling me either give me a deal and give me this $2 million deal, or essentially let me go independent.
And I could be wrong, but I feel like No Jumper reaches a somewhat of a different audience.
They do. They reach the audience that want to be on the block that ain't. They sitting in the suburbs somewhere, kicking up, chilling.
But the same people be under 16 and shit though. That's what's crazy. It's the same exact people. I think it's just the way it's presented and the way the way it's presented is different. If him and DJU presented their content the exact same way as uh it's academics and Adam 22, because they pretty much like those who I would say they in that realm. I wouldn't put them in like the Joe Budden and the $1 million worth of game yet. I wouldn't put them in that realm, but they're in that realm. And the Say Cheese, I really think if they present their content in that way, they'd be gone. They'd be gone. But it's just about just having the knowledge and actually wanting to go like learn and putting it together and hiring a staff and get the full camera set up, get the right mics. You know what I mean? Start selling audio. Like it's a lot you with that you should be doing. Like you should be selling your audio. You know what I'm saying? Like visual is one thing, audio is another thing. Like what are you doing? Like how are you sponsoring this? You just getting YouTube ad? You doing subscriptions? What's your tiers? Like it's a way you can market that, and that's you already got a $1 million business, and you can knock this man out the way.
Somebody need to do it though, because he's doing more harm than good. Like I do not like that man at all.
I mean, somebody got to just want to. He's doing trenches, but he's white. Like that trenches news and that trenches talk, and them artists that want to get on there and just want to be famous and want the people that want to tell shit about what they're doing, it's always gonna be a space.
He don't have no integrity with what he does though. Like to me, he don't.
The integrity.
He's not a journalist. Like he's a
it don't matter when you're stepping into a culture. You never that's not a part. That's not who you are. So I feel like there should be a level of integrity there based off of that alone. Because that's
what we allow so long. He rooted in.
Somebody need to.
I guess, man. We talking about the culture.
He might, keep his OnlyFans. He might make money off of that and just,
Man, he said he made 10 million on OnlyFans last year.
His argument is that it's okay for him to do the content that he does because he hires black staff. Like
he do hire black staff.
We're gonna get that. But they all left too because he had the neo-Nazi up there. So Adam to be on some racist shit. He could be fuck Adam 22. Like we ain't even gonna justify nothing he does.
No,
people like dude. That like, be real slow, and we just let them do what they want to do. Like they just be slow.
No, his ass a goofy.
Really mentally, he not.
And that's who need to be getting robbed. That's who folks who need to be go robbing and go take their money. His ass a goofy. Fuck.
He get on my nerves. Like, and then he don't even like. I was watching a podcast that they had. Joe Budden had him on the podcast, and they were holding him accountable for certain things with how he, like I said, just no integrity in the work that he's doing. Not understanding that you're bringing on these artists who got beef with each other. And this is transcending into the streets, and it's just a whole nother realm of repeated cycles of things that people like Joe Budden, or like they're trying to help guide these kids, and then here you come and you're adding more harm to it, and he just like would not take accountability for anything he was doing.
He don't give a fuck. It's like the same, like the white boy, the white executive that's, yo, I'm gonna push NWA. Hey, yo, I love Chief Keef. Yo, I love this murder music. Like, it's the same shit. Like, yo, Leo Cornin said, like, yo, if they're buying it, I'm gonna sell it. I got a mouse to feed. He said that shit on the Breakfast Club. It's the same thing with Adam. Like, if y'all buying this shit, if y'all gonna sell it, if it's gonna buy it, y'all gonna tune in. I'm gonna get a check. I'm gonna do it. Cause I ain't gotta go home to the trenches. So my thing is like, you can't. We want unity and uniformity is two different things. We're never gonna have uniformity in the culture. Everybody's not gonna wear the same colors and go by the same laws and principles. But we can have unity where we all on one accord, or we all in like minded. So personally, I would rather it be a black dude that do it. So if it's gonna be academics,
right,
you go do it.
He not a part of that either. That man is not from that.
Still, I would rather it be Ack, because you can sit down with Ack, and Ack can change his ways.
There's a level of empathy there.
He has taken accountability for the war in Chirac. He's apologized. He did that. Like, I was on the Clubhouse call when they checked his ass on that shit. Oreo and all them checked him on it. Like, he has took the necessary growth to change who he was. You can't hold him for some shit he did 10 years ago. I'd rather have somebody like that. Huh? I'd rather have. Yeah, he be tweaking. So yeah, so if we gonna do it, yo, DJ, you go do it. Sean Cotton, you go do it. You know what I'm saying? And I think Mark got a beef with Sean Cotton. I gotta ask Mark what's his beef with Sean Cotton. But yeah, 16 shot him, you go do it. Amplify your shit and have these black boys and girls come on your shit and talk their shit, and y'all get a bag. I'd rather y'all do this shit than Bobby.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? I'd rather y'all go on Cassinate, a black
issue with Bobby.
Like, she got the Drake interview. She don't even know Drake music. She looking awkward as hell at the show.
I have a huge I have a huge irritation with Bobby. But every time I say it, like too much. I get it.
So yeah, no. If it's gonna get done, it's gonna get done. I'd rather be done by one of us that can understand the culture, that cares about the culture, and that if you could talk to them, they can understand, like, yo, I'm going too far, or I'm gonna shift this way, or I'm gonna bring the conversation this way. What Zach was doing. Zach knew what he started at, and Zach started to, you know what? When I have y'all on here, I'm gonna start shifting the conversation this way. We're gonna get this, and we're gonna shift it all the way through. He just didn't live long enough to get at that point. You know what I mean? So. But salute to all the gentlemen in that space. You know, I'm gonna keep supporting, but the rest, fuck them. But our next guest that we're bringing up here is I want to say a pioneer in bringing black culture, especially Chicago culture, to the forefront of mainstream using film and television. I want y'all to give a round of applause as we bring in Troy Pryor.
Yay.
Is he still on?
Like Bobby, Jay.
Okay.
That's a white girl.
The dry girl. She like real dry. They say it's dry humor, but I don't think it's.
That was the one that was sitting in the bed with Drake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look.
I was told I was tweaking on multiple occasions, but after really sitting down and
I tried to watch it, and it just it was not interesting to me at all. But it's the same thing, you know, they say about shows that are they have that sarcasm, dry sarcasm and stuff, and people like that. Like Seinfeld was one of them. Like, people like Seinfeld, even though it seemed really dry.
But that was a scripted series. That's what I'm like.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying, but I'm saying this kind of that was what I got from her. The little bit that I did see, it was dry sarcasm. I don't know.
It's the same thing that Funny Marco was doing, and before Funny Marco, the fat dude from The Hangover was doing that type of stuff. He had a whole
What?
show movie.
Craig Robinson.
That's his name, the white dude.
Oh no! I thought you said fat dude from The Office, so I thought you.
Not from The Hangover.
Craig Robinson.
The
Funny
slow.
story about Craig Robinson. When I was living in New York, my roommate was his brother.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Craig Robinson is.
The big guy from The Office, the big black guy from The Office.
Oh, he talking about from what you call that place? He's talking about from Hangover. Fun fact: I've never watched one episode of The Office.
Me neither.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to bring Troy up here. I'm waiting on he say in the office. Waiting on. Can we get Troy up here? Troy,
Yo, what's up?
you gotta turn your camera on. We can't see you.
All right. Cool.
You come on all smooth. That's what's up, brother.
He got that radio voice that whispers in the dark, like.
Yeah, I'm trying to get on my Keith Sweat. Yeah,
Okay.
there it is. Let me see.
Hold on. I was gonna say which one of those everybody don't like right now. It's Brian McKnight. Y'all don't like right now, right?
Brian McKnight is a terrible individual.
Oh wow!
He is terrible. He is terrible on so many levels.
What did he do?
They're not even his kids.
Yeah. He don't show the same love to his black kids as he do to his stepchildren of different races.
I think I did see something about that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brian McKnight was out here wild.
All right. Well, we'll stick to the what is it? The Sweat Hotel. Is that what it is? Keith Sweat.
Yeah.
I ain't never heard a pause. That's crazy. About the Sweat Hotel.
Oh, dude, it's hilarious, man. Yeah, you gotta check it out.
He's indicated to me on a lot of radio stations.
Who, Keith Sweat?
Mm-hmm.
Are he going crazy like that?
Yeah.
Shout out to Keith Sweat. All right. But Troy, we got you on here. Thank you for joining us. We got you on here. You know what I mean? We want to talk about the XL Film Festival. They're formerly known. It used to be the Southside Film Festival, right?
Yeah, it was a Southside Film Festival for about 5 years.
Okay, so tell us about like why you take it over and why the name changed and the direction you're trying to take it.
Dope. Well, appreciate you bringing me on, bro. So Creative Cypher, my company, we launched about 9 years ago, and it was all about supporting Black and brown content creators. And I sit on both sides of the camera. I was on the board for Screen Actors Guild for a while, so I was in all the different rooms and saw the gaps, especially as it relates to DEI, right? So looking at who's in the leadership role, who makes the decisions. So my whole trajectory was looking at folks like Tyler Perry, Berry Gordy, even Steve Harvey, or even some contemporary folks like a Jay-Z, talent that became infrastructure builders. And how do you put more people of color in executive roles? So that was the overall perspective of the organization. We launched a development lab 5 years ago called the Chicago Film Accelerator, where we put money directly into the hands of creators, gave them access to showrunners, network executives, put them in front of publicists, marketing professionals, so they could not only create their concept projects, but also had the back-end distribution and marketing support. The next phase of that was, how do you create an opportunity for them to showcase their work? So that naturally turned into film showcases that then grew into a festival. And so we partnered with the Chicago Southside Film Festival and rebranded that as the XL Festival, which is connected to the Chicago Film Accelerator.
Okay. So what can the people expect from the festival this year?
This year is all about branding. Next year is expanding. This year is making sure that we have the right people in the room, the right media partners, the right filmmakers, so folks can see the scope, but also the reach. And then we're going to build, because we're already planning 2024. So we definitely want What's the Word involved with that. We're planning a 10-day festival in summer 2024. So a couple of things that we're looking to achieve with this festival is not only to build really the first scalable Black-owned film festival in Chicago, because there are a lot of BIPOC targeted programs, but a lot of times they're not owned by us. So a bunch of blind spots, the things that we may walk in a room or a meeting and say, well, if these are the things you want to achieve, then here's a way to go about doing it. But if we're not in those rooms, we walk into events all the time and we're like, well, who approved this? Who said that this was a good idea? So we want to make sure, number one, that we have something built for us and owned by us. Number two, it's also the opportunity to build a destination festival. And what that means is when you think about destination festivals, you think of Sundance, you think of South by Southwest, Tribeca, and even other festivals in Chicago that are like the music festivals that do really well. You think about Lollapalooza, look at what NASCAR just did. Destination festivals attract tourism. So we want to build something that is way bigger than just a festival, but now you can talk to, the city officials in the state that are now looking at this as a revenue generator. And we have the ability to do that. We know our city's dope. There's so many people just dope from Chicago that oftentimes don't feel as though the infrastructure is there, and so they move. So we've seen what's possible in other spaces. And even though there are film festivals in Chicago, we don't have the festivals that draw the traction that some of the music festivals do in Chicago. So there's a huge gap, and we have the ability to build on that. The other thing that's really important to note about our festival is that we've created a market. And what that means is that instead of just being a festival where you come and watch projects or you're a filmmaker to show your projects, you're in front of buyers. That means that you have the ability to make a sale, get your distribution deal. And that's really why you go as a filmmaker to Sundance and South by, those other places. When you premiere your projects, you're not just going there to get a pat on the back. You're trying to close a deal. And so we've partnered with several platforms to make sure that those creators have an opportunity to actually monetize their work and sell or license their content. So we were already doing that. Now, the reality is the union strikes have slowed some of that down. So we've had to pivot a little bit from that part or that phase of it. But that's a key component in our festival. It's Black owned, it's a new tourism opportunity, and it gives us the opportunity to provide pathways so creators can monetize their work. And then we have programming throughout the year. So we've already got a slate of projects that we're going to be doing in September, October, not only in Chicago, but also in the UK, LA, and some other markets.
In what ways have you, because you spoke about having to pivot because of the union and the writer's strike. So what has been like some of the challenges that y'all have to face with having to deal with that pivot and deal put on the film festival?
Man, I would say the biggest one were we had a couple of very recognizable people that had to step down because they weren't as comfortable being on stage. We've got some folks that are still involved that we would love for them to do some media, but they don't want to do that right now. So one of the biggest pivots was, especially in this being year one, where we're branding, we lost some of that opportunity to have certain people in the public eye because they don't want to be on stage. And we got to respect that. We don't want to put anybody in a compromised position. There were certain people that would be on stage and it would be hard to have a conversation with them without them talking about their projects, which would be considered crossing the strike lines. Certain people from Chicago doing amazing projects that you almost can't have them on stage without asking certain questions. And so because of that, we didn't even want to put them in that position. So that was one of the bigger pivots. One of the things that really worked in our favor is that Creative Cypher and Excel Fest was already forward thinking in the sense that we don't just want to entertain and show projects. When you look at some of our some of our panel discussions, it's mental health in the Black artists. It's a panel called Family Business about moms that are managing their kids, like Jeremiah's mom and some other ones. So it's like we had dope panels already that we didn't have to change because we were already on that wavelength. And we wanted to make sure that when you come to the festival, you're not just watching projects and hearing people talk about projects. You're hearing some dope gems. You're listening to some things that you can apply to your own career. Or if you're just somebody that wants to have a good time, you can come and hear the dope story of how Robert Townsend created the 5 Heartbeats. It's just so we're really grateful, but we did have to pivot a little bit. One of the other pivots before I pass it, we we were originally going to have our pitch competition during the festival. That pitch competition would have selected the next filmmaker to go into our development lab. According to the WGA, if you're a signatory.
You back?
Am I back?
Yeah, you back.
Yeah.
Okay.
we got you.
According to the WGA, you cannot accept pitches. So we had a couple of our judges that were still a part of the festival today, but they could only speak as panelists. They could not accept pitches. So what we decided to do was, instead of the 5 filmmakers going into a competition to get that spot, we just decided to support all 5 of those filmmakers.
So the strike really kind of like, Jay, you have something you want to say?
No, I think that's amazing. I actually got to speak with one of the winners. I think it was like last year or the year before that. So seeing them be able to have that, you be able to support all 5 of them, knowing what that did for that one filmmaker is amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I appreciate that. And actually, if you're there, you'll be able. I think you're talking about Kimberly Vaughn.
Yes.
So,
yes.
So one of the things that we make sure we do with Cypher as a whole, especially with the festival, is that if you screen at the XL Fest, we're going to make sure you get screening opportunities in all of our other partners festivals throughout the US and the UK. So Kim is screening in LA in October. She screened at the Four Scene Festival in Indy. We've got a couple other projects that we're essentially placing in other festivals. So that's like what we call after the accelerator. So after the accelerator is over, we still help those creators get more opportunities.
No, I think that's kind of what we always aligned at, because our thing was always just to help media personnel and musicians to get other opportunities to do things.
Mm-hmm.
I love everything you said, and it kind of goes back full circle to the conversation we was having here earlier about the Chicago music scene. And it's always great to, not great, but it's always just an eye opening to see how far the music business and the film business are apart. Like the music business is like, even in Chicago, it's like we having the same type of struggles where we're trying to get our stamp and get our placement in the whole ecosystem. But just how y'all moving and how y'all got everything organized, like you got the plan, you seeing how you gonna make it a tourism, you seeing how you gonna help the people. Like you already got the plan, and those are the exact same questions that Jay was asking earlier about how do you make a structure from music in the music industry in Chicago. But in the film, y'all already got it. So it's just crazy. So Jay, he kind of pretty much answers your question. Like it's just like he said, the infrastructure, like just being able to sell the projects, to pitch it, like having executives. Like he kind of was saying everything. My next question is going to be 50 years of hip hop. Hip hop and film in the 90s and late 80s was like a marriage. Like you've seen a lot of actors, it like was very incorporated in the style. We got a lot of historic films. Why do you feel like do you feel like hip hop and film are like this now? Like they don't even really, you know what I'm saying? We don't have too many classics. It's not, the marriage is not there no more.
I don't know if, from my vantage point, if it is necessarily a hip hop and film thing, or if it's just a commercialization of hip hop in general. Like, I think that it's a bigger conversation of why aren't there hip hop classics like there used to be? When you think about some of the music, we think about some of the creators. And of course, this is a generalization because there still are some folks that are holding it down. But anytime something is as powerful as hip hop is, which not many things have been, and it gets really commercial, it starts to get watered down. And I think you just see that in various places. And film just may be another place that you see that. But even if it wasn't a film conversation, I think you still have that same question about where are the classics? Like why do things so seems so similar nowadays. It's almost like cookie cutter industry plant. Like it's the same thing over and over again. It's a quick hit. Make sure you monetize this fad, but it's not going to last in 6 months, a year from now. It's not gonna be trending anymore. So I don't know if it's like hip hop and film are separating. I think it's more of a, has something been so watered down that it wouldn't have the impact you want it to have anywhere.
Does that go back to what you said earlier about not having Black voices in those spaces?
100%. It definitely goes back to that. Why do certain things get greenlit? Why are certain projects, whether it's music or film, why are certain things greenlit? It plays a role in, the bigger conversation is who controls media. And media is a very powerful thing. So who green lights, who pulls the plug on something, who finances it, all those things play into it. Yeah, I mean, there are countless examples we could probably all think of where you're like, how did this song make this album? Or why didn't this song make the album? We all probably got a million different examples of things like that, and that's across the board. Like I started in the industry as a voice actor, so I've done voiceover commercials, all this stuff. And so when I'm in the booth, sometimes when I get my copy and read it, I'm like, who wrote this script? Like, and that's just across the board. It's not even just a media thing. It's when you don't have inclusiveness in leadership roles in general, there are always going to be blind spots, and some of the byproducts of having those blind spots are having watered down material. One of the things that we say at Creative Cypher is we want the creators we support to eliminate the need for permission. That's our overall model. In order to do that, you have to own the supply chain. So you never get in a position where you're this dope artist and you got a great project, but in order for it to get some rate, to get play or to get greenlit, you have to give up a certain amount of ownership. And that gives up creative control. And now it waters it down. And then if you want to take this even into a bigger conversation, you can look at what's happening in certain states and attempts to rewrite history and move things out of libraries. Like it's a bigger play into or a bigger conversation as to who controls the message. And I think that has an impact on everything.
No, I was doing.
That goes back to what we were talking about earlier, Cody, even with the podcasting, like same, I guess a little bit of the same thing.
With the whole Adam.
Yeah, absolutely. It's happening across the board, like Troy said, in every, like we can literally probably, if we pick a category, whether it's podcasting, radio, whether it's movies, it's that thing is happening across the board everywhere.
And it is, well, the reason why I love like, and I see it so many often when people say like film and television is like the model for like entertainment, is because they have unions. Like he just described the whole blueprint they have, but because they on strike in the union, they had to switch it up, and everybody on the union is standing tall with it. Like this is what it says. This is not what we're doing, and this is how we gonna achieve change. So they infrastructure and they plan to achieve change. Like I know what it's gonna do. I can see the 10-day festival for XL Festival. I can see how that's gonna work. One, by me knowing Troy and how he operates, but just the structure of the film industry and just the people involved in music. If we try to do something like that, is what I mean? Like we still like hip hop. We got a long way to go before we can get to that. But that's the model we should go after. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna ask this question. So we talking about hip hop and film. So get a few fan questions. Give me your top 3 classic hip hop films.
Top 3 classic hip hop films.
Top 3. If you have to choose these 3, and you can't watch no more for the rest of your life. You got these only 3 you can watch the rest of your life.
Ooh, Juice. Black Panther.
You considering Black Panther hip hop film?
I'm considering it. Yeah, I'm considering that because of hip hop culture influenced the success of that film Black Panther. Ryan Coogler and rest his soul, Chadwick, Kendrick Lamar on the sound, like all of that stuff. That project was a historic project, but hip hop made that possible. Like I could only imagine them going into the room, meaning Ryan Coogler essentially saying, all right, Disney, if you want to do Black Panther, it's got to be done like this. And they got out of his way. But that wouldn't have happened if he wasn't able to go in and saying, like, this is how valuable hip hop culture is. You got to get out the way and let it do that. So I got to put that up there. And I'm a Marvel guy anyway, so it is.
Okay.
Oh man, this last one is tough. I'm gonna say Friday.
You gotta say Friday.
Not mad at that. Which one though? First, second, or third?
I'd have to go with Friday as number one. I'd probably go Friday. For me, I go Friday, Black Panther, and Juice.
Okay. I like that. I ain't mad at those. I definitely can't be mad at those. All right. Best rapper.
Oh, come on now.
Turned actor.
Wow. Best rapper turned actor.
Tupac.
Absolutely. I'm gonna have to go with Pac. Absolutely.
Yep,
I say Will Smith, but hey.
Man, no.
No, come on.
Say
Will
Will
don't
Smith.
count.
The catalog
Will
is
does
not
not
here.
I say
it's some nuance to that. I respect that. Yeah, I can respect that. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Pac.
Go Pac.
I would go with Pac as the best that made the transition.
Okay.
Because I think there was a bigger transition for Pac to do what he did from what he was in hip hop to what he was as an actor. I think there was a bigger transition.
Okay. The transition is better, but I still think
think
Will got an Oscar.
Hey, look, and let me throw somebody else at you that might not be on your radar, and it's probably not. What do you think about Mark Wahlberg?
I was gonna say Mark Wahlberg.
Yep.
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg.
Did you just say Jack Harlow?
I don't really know.
Jack Harlow just did White Man Can't Jump, and he did a great job. Okay.
Oh, okay.
No.
Hey, Cindy, can we?
I like Jack Harlow.
I said Jack Harlow.
I didn't even forgot that he was in that movie. That's not.
No.
I am a Harlow fan. Okay, he did a great job in White Man Can't Jump, the remake.
No. All right, so it's the last one. The last one I'm gonna get asked. Best movie soundtrack.
Best movie soundtrack. Man, that's wild. That's wild. Oh man, that's wild. Best movie soundtrack. Cause I gotta dig into the recesses of my mind to know that the song was even on the soundtrack. A lot of times you just know the movies. I'm gonna go back with Black Panther.
Okay. All right.
But you saying it like you got something else. You thinking about something else?
I think the Belly soundtrack was hard.
Okay. Classic.
That was a legendary soundtrack.
Classic.
Okay. All right. Mr. Pryor. All right, man. Let us know where they can follow you. I hate that question. I hate when they do that in radio all the time. Let us know where we can get them tickets for the XL Film Fair.
All right, word. So you can go to our IG at Creative Cypher. Click on the link in the bio. You can still get some promo tips. Some tickets are still available. We are hitting capacity. You can also go to at XL Film Festival on IG. Hit the same link in the bio, and you can find the link to the tickets there.
Okay. We still good, right, man? What's the word? Pull up. We still family in there, right?
Yeah, you got it. Y'all in there.
All right, bet we in there
Appreciate it.
this weekend. All right, Troy, man. It's
Thank
always
you.
a pleasure, man. Thank you for, blessing the lie today.
Appreciate y'all bringing me on. Y'all have a great day.
You too.
Peace.
Right.
Hey, y'all gonna stop playing with Jack Harlow.
You
Now
gonna
her
stop
still
bringing-
thinking about Jack Harlow 5-10 minutes later now.
I love Jack Harlow. How
We
you
got a
feel
crush
about,
on Jack Harlow.
How you feel
You got
about
a
Tory
crush?
Lanez?
I'm not attracted to Tory Lanez though. I just like his music. That's a different.
I'm attracted to
It's a
Jack
different.
Harlow.
That's a different love. It's a different love.
And I decided today, white guys, they gotta act like
I'm trying to say, because we just had this whole conversation. You just told me you trying to date outside the braids.
no, because your reasoning for saying that you would date outside your race was terrible. Do you want to get into it?
Your reasoning because he white and he can act.
No, that's not my reason.
And he can rap. And y'all hell look alike.
Not too much on the hair. Now we talked about this.
It's the projection. You wish you had hairline so bad.
You know what?
That's
He
crazy.
just-
I guess if we going out projecting hair, I had to get old girl out Black Panther. They got the ball joint. You know the one with the
You're
thing.
insane. You're insane.
What else protecting the kid? You know what? This been a good live, man. A good live. We gonna close it out.
We ain't talking about something.
What we listening to?
Yeah, we talked about a lot.
What we listening to?
Oh, I had a
What you want to tell?
story for I Think piece, but never.
What, the Raw Dog Queen?
No, not that.
Raw Dog Queen.
Why do you think I would relate to that?
I don't know. I thought that was gonna be for y'all. Y'all was
She
gonna
said
be.
think.
Y'all
She said think piece. She ain't say relate.
That's a real think piece. How can she go out and say she the Raw Dog Queen? She was proud to say that.
Okay, ain't nothing. Think. That's what she said. She said what she said. If that's how she want to live her life, let her live her life. She already said she got a couple STDs a couple times.
Who are you talking about? Sexy Red?
Sexy Red. Yeah, she said she the
She.
Raw
I
Dog
mean,
Queen.
she.
Her brand.
Y'all see her and Drake together. Y'all want to know my theory about her and Drake? Drake secretly want to be her. Drake is living vicariously through her, and that's why he like her.
Drake
That's my.
People, and he know he got the access to see what's to people.
Drake you talking about Drake gonna get us canceled. All right, I guess we can end it off on our think piece. We got a few minutes. So our think piece of the day is, how do you respond when you find out your ex is in the building?
Is in the building?
In the building. You in a club, doing your thing at the brunch, you and your girls. DJ Commando get on the mic. Yo, Brandon in the building. What's the wall? Da da da. And all your girlfriends, Jay, like, oh my God, Brandon here. And you just like,
it depends on how the ex. So we talking about one I hate. I'm gonna just ignore him. I'm not saying nothing. If it's like my baby daddy, I don't hate my baby daddy. So I use my baby daddy. I'll probably go up to him and say hi. Like I'll probably go up to him and say hi. Like, what's up? When you get the kids? That type. Where my child support money at?
yeah.
Okay, you in a club.
I don't, and let's be clear. I don't love my baby daddy. I don't want to get back with him. We just cool. We kick it sometimes, like.
But in the club, though, you just can't give me a hug. You want to talk about child support in the club?
I'm joking. I was
club. You spending money. Where's my child support? Period. If you spending money in the club, where's my child support?
But
That's
also
crazy.
just like say hi. But you know what? Me being the Leo that I am, I just really have to let you know that I'm the best you will ever have. So you're gonna see that, and I'm gonna make sure you see that in the club. It's like G Herbo when G Herbo went to Ari's birthday party. You know, it's like that type of thing. Like,
That's crazy.
what's Ari say? She see him like a brother now.
I'm cool with like 95%
what you
of my
say,
exes, so I'd be cool. I seen a couple of my exes in the club before. It just be like, I'll with another. If I'm not there with another, it'd be like, you want to get these drinks? We're gonna have a good time. We kicking it together. We homies at this point. But it was one time where I kind of spazzed. I spazzed the one time, and I said I would never do that again.
Wow.
It just, I think it depends on the ex. What about you, Cody?
But sometimes your ex be where you at, and they do it on purpose.
My ex would be in my section.
That's your problem. But that be me. I'll kick it with my ex. Like,
wait, okay, but
girl, I'll be like,
It's my ex. Like, I'm with that too. Like, depending on how long me and an ex been talking
about
shit.
I'm with that to see. I ain't never partying with like my.
That be me. I'll be that ex that be around when he got to go with him. I'll still be in a section like, I don't care about.
No, see, I would do that because I just feel like, but if it's me, like, and I'm with somebody, I don't know. I probably,
I don't be caring about stuff like that. It's usually the girl. When a girl got her guy, like, she cares more about like me being around her and the guy. But me, I don't care about y'all being on, like, because at the end of the day, I know who I'm leaving with. Like, you my ex, what up? You my homie, yeah, we can kick it, but yeah, I know who I'm leaving with, and it ain't my ex. But if it's enough drinks going around, you know what I'm saying, and who I with found my ex attractive and my ex with the shit, hey, we go there.
This went a whole like
that was not what we started talking about.
We went from staying high to something completely different.
That is not that's y'all problem.
Well, we know what Cody will do if he see his ex in the club now.
I got another think piece, right? Bree, I don't know if you checked your Twitter lately because I know you probably been on Threads, but you seen it was a thing on Twitter, right? This is the text message. It's a text message thread, so I'm gonna read it. Text message says, "Hey, are we still on for tomorrow night?"
I saw that.
She replies, "Hey, boo, I was wondering if you could come by and I cook for you. Because honestly, I didn't use the money you sent me for an outfit or nails for a day. I was behind on a couple of bills, so I used it for that." He say, "Bro, you playing with you paying me back. You've been blowing me off for months to link because of your hair and your nails. I never done, Bree. Or you need a new outfit. I send you $450 to get all that done, and you use it and you don't use it. Now you're inviting me back to the house you originally said I couldn't come due to us never linking in person before now." He say, but now you're letting me come in. I want my $450 back." She say, "Yeah, my hair, nails, and shit I never done, but because I pay bills, which is what I use the money for." Why you texting me? "So excuse the fuck out of me for being grown. I'm not paying you back because why it matter what I spent the money you sent me. You're being weird." I open up. I say, goes back to our conversation we had the other week about if I give you the bread.
That's what you sent me yesterday.
Yo,
talking about this is a reasonable price, $450. No.
I just feel like he shouldn't be mad because if you're giving somebody $450, you probably have disposable income to do that. So why are you mad? And then on top of that, you're getting what you wanted in the beginning anyway. So
it's his pride.
Why are you upset?
Because he didn't get that access at first until he spent that money. So now his pride a little touched because it's like, I could have been over there. $450, but now I gave you $450. You want to let me?
Well,
come
you
over
fell
there.
for
Like,
the okie doke. I'm so sorry.
his ego.
Yo,
He fell
it's-
for it. That's
Yo,
him.
it is
That's on
so
him.
much contradictory of what y'all be standing for and what y'all saying in this statement. But I'm going to allow it because I definitely agree with y'all. You should not be mad. And if you are mad, because I sent you $450 and I want to go out and kick it with you and get a little deals done, and you tell me that you spend it on, I'm gonna be a little tight. Like, damn, like I did this. I want you to get your nails done. I want you to look pretty when we go outside because you want to let me come to the crib, and you did that. I'm gonna be a little tight. I'm not gonna express to you that I'm tight though.
No, what his conversation was given, I'm tight. It was definitely given. I'm pissed. Like, you wild as hell. But it also shows him that she not messing with no other nails play done.
I would have been like, all right, cool, shit. You ain't you have to pay the bill. I'd be over. I'd be over there.
She probably got a link card, so she finna cook. She probably getting lamb chops, all type of shit, and she got a kid.
She probably finna be over there with the bonnet, with the mismatched socks, with the little shorts.
But the food,
this finna go there. No, you ain't never listen. If you ever go to a girl house and she got them little shorts with the mismatched socks, the little socks how we went a little ankle socks. But it be like mismatched. They don't never have the right cut, the same color. You know that's
I let chill.
Yeah, that you know that about to be fire.
Damn, I like that.
Easy access. Yeah, he tweaked. I'd have went over there, got me a little lamb chops.
I'm saying. But also, wait, okay, on the flip, hold up. On the flip side of that, though, I think if you're a resourceful woman, because I know I'm resourceful, I know I got a homegirl that can at least get my nails done real quick. Like, I favor for a favor type situation, just so you're not, because I don't know if I would have admitted that. I would have just been like, why don't you? I wouldn't have said all of that. She disposed too much information there. Oh, I used it for bills. Just say, you know what I was thinking? I really feel money is my love language. Gifts are my love language. And I really feel like I want to reciprocate. She didn't have to say all of that is my thing. Because now you stopped your bag. Because what if you stopped the bag completely now?
I'm just listening to y'all contradict yourself all day long.
I'm not contradicting anything.
How you figure?
I'm listening.
I don't think we contradict anything. Like, if you gave me $450 and I decided to spend it on rent, and I decided to tell you that I'm giving you the open line of communication to decide.
I ain't have to tell you though.
I didn't have to tell you. I could have still went on a date.
Because I don't think I would have
already had, and my nails not being done. Or I could have went to Walgreens and got some press-ons. You wouldn't have known.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Be resourceful. She's stupid because she stopped her bag.
What y'all are saying now was cool. But the whole stopping your bag and all that lets me further know that it's a price. That's all I want to say. And this text message thread lets me know $450 is more than enough to get the job done. Because he got a because he didn't get the box. He could have got the box and he got a home cooked meal.
I'm talking about her. I'm talking about her. That was her price.
It's a reasonable price.
We had a conversation already about that.
And I what? I went over there 8, knocked it down with a deal, did some strange for a piece of thing, and it been in there for free. That would have been you would have been in there for free after that.
You're not gonna be.
I'll be in there looking for all the smallest bills that needed to pay. Phone bill $80. We ain't got pay the phone bill. It's $80. Water bill.
But that's really
water bill be like $36 in college. You know what I'm saying? I'll be paying all the small bills. We ain't got
one time when I was living in New York, I had this dude pay my rent and I wouldn't let him come inside, and then I moved and he got mad because I wouldn't let him come inside. But it's like, you can't be mad at me. You offered to give me the money. I took the money. I don't have to let you upstairs.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
No,
You
I
let
did.
him-
I swear.
Hey, I pay your
No,
rent. You
I
gotta
did
send me a
not.
New
I
York
promise
phone.
you, I did not.
You
I
pay my
Hey.
rent.
promise you, I did. I gotta find him.
I need to see
finna
a
find
nude, or you gotta send
to
me a
this day.
slab dude or something. Go see, go.
Huh?
I said, if I pay your rent, especially in New York, you gotta send me a
He
slab
did
dude
not
or
come
a
upstairs.
nude or
I
something.
moved. He gave me the money. I moved, and then I didn't let him up.
Nah, not for me. I would have
I
been.
probably, you know what though? I feel bad,
I
and
would
I
have
always
called
say
Chase and
this.
said I got hacked.
I
Okay.
feel bad because I probably made
It's
him
you.
like really mean after that.
That wasn't me. That wasn't my check. Somebody wrote a fake check. They would have been retracting that.
He gave me cash.
Oh yeah, here goofy.
Wasn't no fake check.
Hey sir, you sir. Goofy. And that girl rent. But not that's crazy
Yeah,
though.
so people,
He missed his beat. But close out, man. What y'all been listening to, man?
I've been listening to Capella Gray.
Really?
His new EP is really, really good. I'm gonna be really honest with you.
During those,
I love me some Capella. Been trying to get him on here. The new EP is really good. I feel like it gets this. One thing I love about him is he's a creator. He makes his own music, writes his own music. Like he's really that dude when it comes to making music, pure music. I would say. The EP I think it's called Here Damn, because we've been waiting on the album forever. But the EP is really good. It just reminds me, gives me that like 2000s. So he was supposed to drop an album back in January, and the label pretty much put a pause on it. So right now we're waiting for the new date for the albums to come out. I'm cool with his publicist. Shout out to Dominique. So hopefully that drops soon. But the EP is decent. I wish the songs were a little bit longer, but y'all take a listen. It's a good album or EP.
Brie, what you been listening to?
What you listening to?
Honestly, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. This morning I was listening to the Cheetah Girl soundtrack because they made 2 years since the Cheetah Girl premiered.
Gee, you are random as hell.
Huh?
Cindy, please.
What's your favorite song?
Please pause that mic.
I want to say Cinderella, but Cinderella technically is a song. Cinderella is another girl group song.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, I remember that.
That Amigas Cheetahs, girl, that's my jam. Cheetah Girls too. When they was in Barcelona.
Yeah.
They did. It's 3 movies.
I'm trying
right?
to think on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
them
movies were good though. I'm not gonna lie, they did a good job.
The third one wasn't as good though.
Was it called New World or something like that?
Yeah, on the third one.
Like India. Huh?
Yeah.
Raven won on the third
one. Mm-mm.
Raven said them girls was mean to her.
She said the girls was mean to her.
Yeah, she said they was mean to her.
But yeah, I've been listening to that. Other than that, I haven't really been listening to nothing new for real. Cinnamon just dropped. You can shout to Ellie Studios. Yeah, I just kind of been listening in like my soundtrack musical bag for the past couple days.
It was called Cheetah Girls One World.
Oh, so I knew something like that. Some world.
Yeah, it was not good.
Not you Googling it though.
What the white girl broke?
Who?
Yes. What's her name? You know,
She had no money.
her and Keely, they real friends in real life. It's a weird comment. That girl Keely, she weird.
I think
that girl Keely, she weird.
So they go together in real life?
No,
they're friends. They're like real friends in real life, best friends type situation.
That didn't really have a career after Cheetah Girls.
Keely, the one that
Keely funny.
That's the one that slept with like all the B2K, right?
Yeah.
That girl, she at home, and I think it's the being at home with kids is getting to her because she be saying some wild stuff. I think she slept with Bow Wow too.
What's her IG?
Yeah, she was saying it on the interview. She was so happy to say that she was with Bow Wow.
What's her?
Hey, let me tell you something. I heard one of my homegirls went to Clark, Atlanta. She told me that Bow Wow used to be slanging. Like he was.
Sure. I'm sure once
Bow Wow
started-
made up for his hype in other ways. That's all I'm gonna say.
Come on, you want to be on the
All right, yo.
Bobby?
I've been listening to what have I been listening to? I've been listening to Asar's new project. I've been listening to Asar's new project. I've been listening to that new Yo Gotti mixtape and him and DJ Drama, the new Gangsta Grills. Yeah, that's what I've been listening to. Jay, you can't talk no more for the rest of the night. It was good for y'all. Dope. Shout out to Troy for sliding through. Shout out to XL Film Fest. If we hurt anybody's feelings today, we're sorry. We weren't talking about you. We was talking about the situation. We want to throw this disclaimer
Probably
out
you
there.
hurt people's feelings. Some people business.
You and Messiah Hell looks like twins. Twin them. Shout out to What's the Word. Make sure y'all sign up.
My new pose all the time.